Continue. I live in Taipei, the example. Read the example.
I live in Taipei.
Taipei.
My permanent home. At the moment, I living in Taipei. My home for now.
Thank you very much. Do we have another volunteer that can read the third box?
Me, teacher.
Go ahead.
Okay. How many classes are you taking this term? Use the present continuous to talk about action happening in the extended present. Nowadays.
Okay. Thank you very much for participating. My question is now, because this looks like some easy grammar, and for the next exam that you're going to have, then you're going to have basically this part and a lot of things that we saw on the previous book. And I say we, meaning teachers and students, even though maybe you didn't see them with me, but you're going to see some things that you have seen already on the previous book. So my first question, so we can break the ice with this grammar, is what are the uses of the present continuous? Do you know what are the uses of the present continuous? Anybody that can tell me? Yes?
I use the present continue this you realize in the moment.
Things that we do at the moment. Good.
Yes.
Okay, that is one use. And good, very good. That is one use. Do we have more uses of the present continuous? Somebody that remembers? That can tell Mr. Reyes? Show me. Show me that you got grammar. Come on. Luz.
No.
No?
No.
And I use the present continue in the habits. I tell the habits.
Habits. Okay.
Habits.
Yes, for habits. Okay. I am exercising these days. Good.
You use the present continuous to talk when you talk about the action at the moment.
Action at the moment, that was the very good, but somebody said that at the beginning. Somebody else, other uses, we got two uses of the present continuous. They talk about actions that we do at the moment, and they talk about habits, meaning things that we do these days. Do we have more uses for the present continuous that you remember?
Use the verb to be.
Okay, well, we use the verb to be before having the continuous form. Yes, that is the structure. But it uses. Unit 11 on the last book. I don't know if you remember.
To talk about the plan.
Plans, exactly. All right, so go ahead.
To talk about the things that are happening. I don't know.
Okay, very good. Nice, and thank you guys for your input. Thank you very much. Okay, I want you to listen very carefully. The first thing with grammar, the first thing is that, number one, you need to understand that every grammar has a name. And the name has to do with the use of the grammar and with the structure. When I say structure, I mean the order of the grammar. So there is a reason for everything in grammar, right? Grammar is basically like a book with definitions in this case. So when you look at this, I'm going to take my wireless keyboard. Yes, I have a wireless keyboard. He says here, the simple present tense versus the present continuous tense. Whenever you see this in this book, that means that you have seen that material before. And for the exam, that means that you are expert in the material. But even if you are not experts, I'm going to give you some input. So the simple present, here we got simple, meaning that the verb is in the simple form or the base form. And you have present, meaning the time, or what we call in English the tense. The three tenses in English are present, past, and I don't want to say the other one, but sometimes they call the other one future. But later we talk about that. So for now, we got the simple present. What does simple present mean? That the verb is in the base form. That's it. Now, the present continuous. What does the present continuous means? Present continuous means that this sentence is in the present tense and that the verb is in the continuous mode. In this case, if you have seen that before, the structure here is the verb be in present and the main verb in the continuous mode, like we have here. She is the verb be in present and the main verb in the ing. Whenever you have this combination, that is called present continuous. After you know that part, after you got that, then the next step is to learn what are the uses of them. Now, we got that the simple present is used for facts, is used to express routines, is used to express habits that are routines. Now, some of them, they can be used for the same things, all right? Or they can be used in the two aspects. Now, that means that they mean something different or a different point of view. So, the present continuous can be used for three things. Number one, use of the present continuous. One, for things that we are doing at the moment. Number one. Number two, for extended time activities. Let me give you an example.
Teacher, please
Yes.
repeat the number one, please.
Number one, for things that we're doing at the moment or actions that we're doing at the moment. An example, I am eating, I am teaching, I am swimming. Whatever it is that you're doing at the moment, you express with the present continuous. Second use of the present continuous, and it's good to know, is for extended time activities. What does that mean? Well, the English immersion program. You could say, Mr. Reyes, I am taking the English immersion program. What does that mean? You are using the verb be, I am in present, the main verb in continuous, I am taking the English immersion program. That is the present continuous for extended time activities. What does that mean? That is not exactly what you're doing now, is what you are doing these days. Second use. Use number three, and it's not here in this grammar, but it's good to know because you're going to see it on the next grammars, is for future plans. And I don't know if you remember, Unit 11 from the previous book. Unit 11 said, I am traveling to New York. I am going to Pedernales. I am swimming next Monday. That is the present continuous. I am, verb be, right? And then the main verb on the ing form for future plans, all right? And you can add to that, we could say words that would express things in the future, like tomorrow, next week, and things like that. Now, what we have here in this grammar, guys, and I need you to listen very careful, is that for each use, right, they have a definition on the side and they have an example. So, I always take a shower in the morning. Use the simple present to talk about habits. When you are talking about habits, you use the simple present compared to the present continuous. Habits. Now remember that a habit and a schedule is not, in this case, used to talk about habits, schedules, and facts. What are facts? Who can tell Mr. Reyes? What are facts, if you know? No? Yes?
No.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. We are in the simple present now. Use the simple present to talk about habits. What are habits? Things that you do almost every day or on a schedule. Facts are things that are always true. For example, my last name is Mr. Reyes. Look, my last name is Mr. Reyes. The simple present for facts. What are facts? Things that are true. Most of the time, we use to express a scientific experiment. For example, if you get ice, and you put the ice into fire, it melts. You see, we use the simple present for facts. What are facts? Things that are true. I can say, my last name is not Rodriguez. The simple present to express something that is true. What is something that is true? It's a fact. Or something that never changes. Okay? The sky is blue. That is with the simple present. What is that? That is a fact. It's true. The sky is blue. Okay? So you use the simple present to express facts. Facts are things that are true. Now it says here, use the present continuous to talk about actions that are happening right now. So the differences between them two, in this case, in this one, is that the simple present, when it's a habit, a schedule, in fact, use the simple present. And you're going to see that in the exam. All right? Whenever it's something that you're doing now, compare to a schedule or to a fact, then you use the present continuous. That is one difference that we have there. Okay? What? Simple present. You can write it down as notes. Use the simple present for habits, schedules, and facts. All right? For things that we're doing now, the present continuous. That is one of the differences that we have. Questions on the first box. Questions.
One moment. One moment.
Teacher,
Questions on the first box. Yes,
can
Ruth.
you explain the fact?
A fact, yes. A fact is something that is always true. Something that is always true when you put it in a sentence. It could be an experiment. It could be a news. For example, my father's name is, and then you say your father's name. That is true. You say use the simple present to express that part. You could say about experiments or about facts of things. The color of gold, right? We could say that is, well, it's gold, or it's yellow or bright yellow. You can say the sky is, what color is the sky?
Blue.
Exactly. So that sentence, the sky is blue, is true. So that sentence is a fact. A fact is something that is true. If your boyfriend is Carlos, then you say, Carlo is my boyfriend. What does that mean? That is a fact. And you say, Roberto is not my boyfriend. That is simple present, and that is simple present used to express a fact. Another fact, something that is true. Mr. Reyes is my teacher.
Facts are known or other.
I'm sorry? Facts are things that are true in general. True. My dog's name is Fifi. It's just an example. I don't have a dog, but
You
it's an
should.
example. Yes, Luz, was it?
Listen.
They said,
Can be a fact if I say it's a fact uh, that I will finish the English, or it's a fact that when I finish the English, I will the university study.
Okay. Well, if it's in the future, then it's not. It cannot be a fact. Okay.
Okay.
For example, you can say, when I finish the English program, and then you have to say, I am going. I am going to get a job. In that case, you are using the present continuous for future plan because it's a plan. It hasn't happened yet. Now, a fact, it's something that is true or an experiment that is always the same. Let's say, for example, when you put gasoline, right, and you put fire to the gasoline, it lights up, it goes on fire. So you made an experiment, and every time you did the same experiment, you have the same result. That is a fact. So you can say with the simple present, when you light gasoline, it burns or it turns into fire. You use the simple present to express that action. Why? Because you experimented that a lot of times and it always gives you the same result. So you use the simple present to express things that are true. We live in the planet called Earth. That is a fact. Your boyfriend is Jose. That is a fact. How do we express the facts? With the simple present. Do you got that?
Teacher,
Yes.
the past is a reality in the moment.
Not the reality in the moment. It could be
Yes.
a reality
It's
at the
reality.
moment and it can be a general reality.
Okay.
Okay? A general
Teacher,
reality is an experiment that is always the same. Yes, you said teacher.
teacher, you use the present continuous only in the in the moment, in the present, or future.
I'm sorry, in the present or what?
You use the present continuous only in the present, or so in the moment and future.
That is a good question.
Only present.
Before I answer that question, because that is going to extend this grammar, what is your opinion about that? Before I answer.
It's a
Uh,
present, no?
it's a present, only present in the moment.
Okay.
No, guys.
Mm.
Listen. Listen to Mr. Reyes.
How many blocks
Okay.
are you
The
searching for?
tense and the verb,
Oh no, the number three is
the tense and the verbs are two different things. Okay? The tense is one thing and the verb is another thing. Okay?
okay.
What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to keep that answer, that question. I'm not going to answer now. We're going to finish this grammar, and when we finish this grammar, I'm going to answer that question. Okay? I'm going to have that question in queue, as we call it. But you're going to go crazy in a little while. Don't worry about it. So when it comes to this present tense and present continuous, the first box, do you have any questions on the first box about the use and the structure?
Okay.
Okay? Make sure that you are memorizing these differences. Okay, on the second box, it says, I live in Tapey. And it says, at the moment, I'm living in Tapey. Now listen, you can use the simple present to talk about a situation that we got here that is permanent. And you can talk, or you can use the present continuous to talk about a situation that is temporary. Now, the two are acceptable. Let me tell you and let me explain to you. So please listen. When you say I live in Tapey, and when you say I am living in Tapey, the only difference between I live in Tapey and I am living in Tapey is that when you say I am living, that means that is temporary, is for this time. All right? When you say I live in Taipei, that means, or the message that you send is that that is permanent. Okay?
Yes.
So I could say, hey, I'm living in San Juan. What does that mean? Well, I'm
Yes.
using the present continuous. And if you look at this grammar, it says use the present continuous to show a situation that is more temporary. That means that when you compare the present, the simple present, with the present continuous on this structure, the only difference is going to be that when you use the present continuous, it is going to tell you automatically that is a more, we could say, a more temporary situation. That's it. Hey, I am attending the wash. I am living around the wash. What does that mean? That is for a phone call. No, that is temporary. All right, that is temporary. So again, he says, I live in Taipei, simple present. That means that what you're saying is permanent. All right, I live in Taipei. I live in Dominican Republic. I live in whatever you live. You use the simple present. You are expressing, or the information that you're giving is that that is permanent. Now, on the second hand, at the moment, I am living in Taipei. What you are expressing is that that is temporary. So the difference between the second box is that one will be more permanent and the other one will be temporary. Questions on the second box? Mhm.
It's good. I understand.
Questions, questions. Good.
No question.
I
Oh,
think understand.
you understand. Okay, we're gonna see in a minute. Now what you're gonna do, guys, we got like 10 seconds, so make sure that you come back to the meeting. All right? Come back to the meeting. It's gonna finish in 10 seconds. So make sure you come back so we can explain the list.